Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of Why Do I Love? You know, South Korean media is just so awesome. They constantly produce the kind of quality content that Western media just can't seem to keep up with. Whether it's films like the critically acclaimed Parasite, brutal action dramas such as Old Boy, underrated creature features like The Host, and one of the best zombie films to date, Train to Busan. Series like the dystopian environment of Squid Games, the South Korean Game of Thrones Kingdom, sci-fi horror Parasite the Grey, the angsty but brilliant All of Us Are Dead, and the subject of today's video, happiness. Let's start by taking a look at the best thing about happiness, the characters. It's a rare thing these days to be able to watch a show where the characters actually have, well, character. Zae-bum is a member of the Korean Special Operations Unit. She's a level-headed, goal-oriented, and physically capable character that can come off as a bit harsh at times, and has zero diplomacy. We also have Hee-hyun, a cop who's also a part-time baseball instructor. He has an ability to see things beyond the obvious that others attribute to great luck. And he suffers a propensity for losing his temper at times. With the best accommodations in the city reserved to people with a high social standing, Zae-bum proposes a marriage of convenience to Hee-hyun, and they move into their new apartment together shortly afterward. It's discovered that the apartment building they've just moved into has a gym whose employees have been selling a drug called Next, which boasts improvements to strength and concentration, but also results in a condition dubbed Mad Human Disease. The two are then thrust into a world of survival horror, interpersonal drama, and social inequality. You wouldn't think that having a social inequality theme would work well in a show like this, but it ends up adding a level of tension and conflict to events that are detrimental to the survival effort without feeling forced. You see, the building is segregated into two parts. The residents of the upper floors who own their homes consist mainly of financially well-off people, like the self-centered apartment representative, lawyers, and a reclusive survivalist. The less well-off ones, who are renting their homes, are mostly restricted to the lower floors. When things start to go bad, the government literally walls them in, leaving all of the residents, rich or poor, to fend for themselves, including several people that don't even live there, such as a couple running a cleaning business and their mysterious assistant, Andrew. And so it's up to Zae-bum and Hee-hyun to juggle the responsibility of keeping everyone safe while doing their best to calm panicked survivors with steadily dwindling resources. To be fair to the couple, they do a really good job of maintaining a sense of order, but things soon start to fall apart when the lockdown doesn't end after the promised 7 days, which ends up adding paranoia, conspiracy, and straight-up murder to the list of problems Zae-bum and Hee-hyun find themselves having to fight against. At first, you'd be forgiven for mistaking Happiness as a bog-standard zombie show, but there's a lot more going on here. The zombies here are not your regular horror fodder. Yeah, they turn into mindless creatures that are driven to bite the uninfected. However, when infected, the victims of mad human disease start to feel an insatiable thirst for human blood, and no matter how much they drink, it starts to overwhelm them until they snap. It doesn't end there though. After drinking blood, the infected revert back to their normal human selves, which adds a number of ethical and moral conundrums. If the infected appear to be normal, uninfected people, then how can they tell the difference? What about the infected people themselves? Imagine waking from a blackout to find you've ripped out the throat of a loved one. Their blood is still fresh in your mouth. Would you admit to the crime you weren't fully responsible for, or would you attempt to hide the evidence? Charged with cleaning up this mess and finding a cure for the disease is Tae-suk, a lieutenant colonel and part of the Health Service Command. He adopts a no-holds-barred approach towards containing the infection, like when his team discovers that low temperatures slow the progression of the infection, and with the body count rising, he resorts to some less than humane methods to deal with the problem, as well as some other pretty extreme measures to control the situation, like letting an infected person terrorize protesters to scare them off of the streets and into their homes, where they're less likely to be infected. Happiness balances perfectly the horror that comes from surviving a zombie apocalypse with all of the issues of being trapped in an enclosed space with people whose motives and conflicts may jeopardize everything. Starring two main characters who have a natural, believable, and engaging relationship, with even their smaller interactions having an endearing quality. And that's why I love Happiness. Thank you everybody for watching the first episode of Why Do I Love? Please do like and subscribe if you have not done that already. Put your comments down in the comments section and let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this one. I will see you soon.